For this, I'm going to use the 4 aces and the 4 kings. So I'll put the 4 kings in my hand and the 4 aces will go on top. But don't take your eyes off these cards because I'm going to make these kings disappear just in the action of dealing these aces. And the last ace, and as you can see, the kings have totally vanished. They're neither one of my hands. I'm going to pick up these aces. And watch, now I'm going to bring these kings back. But of course, there's a little bit of a method to this. But I am going to bring these kings back in the same way. Let me just stretch out my hand first. But I'm going to bring those kings back just by dealing those aces down once again. So we'll start with the first ace, the ace of hearts. We'll leave that right on the table. And then we'll take the second ace, the ace of clubs. We will also take that and leave it on the table. Then we will take the next ace, the ace of spades. We will leave that on the table as well. And then the final ace, the ace of diamonds. And you can clearly see me take the ace of diamonds and leave it right on the table. Now I've dealt those 4 aces, but as you can see, there's still cards in my hand. There's actually 1, 2, 3, and 4 cards that have appeared in my hand. And of course, they are the kings. Keep your eye on the king of spades. Watch how it changes right into the ace of clubs. But not just 1 ace, but 2, 3, and all 4 aces have transported here. And of course, the cards on the table are the 1, 2, 3, and 4 kings. What is good, guys? It is Reed and welcome back to a dope video. Today, I'm starting a little bit of a new series, I guess. I'm going to be teaching all of the effects that I've created in the Sleight Off series and all the effects that are to come in the Sleight Off series. So we're going to start today with Season 1, Episode 1. I'm going to be teaching you the original effect that I created called a lapping demonstration. Now this effect is a wonderful effect, something that could definitely be used in person, something that can be used on camera. And the idea here, at least when I did it, it was to make it seem like you were lapping the cards, and that's why I used the name a lapping demo, but then you slowly sort of break down that possibility. It's more of a trick for magicians. Now, when you're doing this for laymen, I don't even think you need that angle, and I probably, in hindsight wouldn't do that, but it's something that I did for the Sleight Off performance. Now, these are going to be really interesting because I'm going to teach you the effect, but you have to keep in mind with some of these, there's probably better ways to do them because when I was doing the Sleight Off, I was forced into a box and I had to use certain sleights. So as I teach these, I'm going to give you my sort of updated handlings, how I would change things probably for the real world, and different ways you could do them, as well as what I actually did in the Sleight Off. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So the performance of this you've seen in the Sleight Off Episode 1. It was a great routine, one of my favorites. It's a quick 4-card transpo. You have the kings and the aces, then the kings disappear, you deal the aces onto the table, then the kings that come back in your hand, kings all change into the aces, and then the aces on the table change into the kings. So it's a really awesome 4-card transpo. It's a little bit of a sleight of hand intensive trick, so be prepared for that. But nonetheless, I'm excited to teach it. So welcome everyone who is new to the channel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. And with all that said, let's get into the tutorial of a lapping demo. All right, guys, so for this, all you need is the 4 aces and the 4 kings. And that's one thing I love about it so much. A lot of the transpo tricks like reset or reswindled that I've taught, you might use them, but you'll not use all 4 aces or all 4 kings or something, but this you use all 4. So you can openly display these cards, have them checked out by the spectator. Next, you're going to take the aces and you're going to place them on top of the kings. Now, the next thing you're going to execute is very difficult. You're going to be executing a perfect double deal of all 4 cards. So what you need to do is push off the top card and the bottom card using, your bottom deal mechanics. So you push them off like this, and then you can grip them and place them both down as one. Okay, now the way that I chose to do this is to grip them like this in sort of a biddle grip and just drop them on the surface. So in the Sleight Off, I would dealt each ace like this, drop them on the table, utilizing the double deal, just like that. So obviously this is very difficult and potentially not super practical, but it is quite a neat vanish of the kings because they see the kings, then you square up and they disappear right away. Now in the Sleight Off, I pretended to lap the kings just before I did this, But for actually doing it, you wouldn't need to do that, right? What I also would do is I do it like this. You push off the top, and then as the top's over, you push out the bottom, and you push them about the same, right? So they're about the same. Come over with your middle and thumb, and then with these fingers on top, and you're gonna slide both cards out. And then you can kind of square them and set them down on the table like that. That's probably what I would do instead of dropping them, because sometimes they can split like that. As you do your double deal, place, double deal, place. So watch, double deal, I grip it, I place, and then you just take the last ace and you place it down. And you're gonna pick them back up like that, and that way you can keep everything pretty square. Your pattern there is kind of, you know, as you're dealing, you say, and watch, as I deal all 4 aces, the kings have vanished. So after you've picked them up, you flip them over and you say, now I'm gonna bring these kings back. Watch. I'm gonna take ace number 1, you're gonna do a double lift, and you say watch, and I'll place it on the table. And this you do very openly and very fair, because in a second you're gonna be doing some less fair things, and so you need to be prepared for that. So there you've just dealt a king onto the table and retained the ace in your hand. Then you're gonna do another double deal, but this time it's easier, and it's gonna allow you to reveal the next ace, okay? So in this position, the ace of spades is on the bottom and the ace of hearts is on top. Because we started with, in this position, so it's ace, king, ace, king, ace, king, ace, king. You're gonna execute a double. You see the ace of hearts. Here I might use the drop switch, right? So I've switched it out for the king of hearts. But now we can't just flip over the next ace, right? So what you're gonna do, the ace of spades is on the bottom, so you go, push off the top, push off the bottom, and this one's quite a bit easier. You just pinch at the sides here, square everything up, and you just pull these both over and flip them as one. So it's another double, but you're doing a double with the top and the bottom card now. So at speed, it's just kind of like that, right? And it looks pretty good. So you do your double deal, so again, push over, and then the fingers underneath, push off the bottom card. Now it doesn't have to be perfect. If you do a little sort of swooping motion with your hands, you can cover a lot of it. Then you take that ace, you flip it over, and now you're gonna execute a bottom deal, because now there's a king on the bottom. So you say, and we'll leave that ace right there. So now you've dealt 2 kings. Again, we're gonna do a double deal from the bottom, because now we have another ace there, and we're gonna flip it, and we're gonna get the 3rd ace. You say, all right, the ace of clubs. And I love this, because you're really seeing all 4 different aces. Then you hit another bottom deal, because again, it was gonna be a king. Then you're with the ace of diamonds, and you say, finally, we'll take the ace of diamonds. And then you say, and this time you're gonna clearly see, I'm gonna take the ace of diamonds, and you take the top card. Now you're gonna do a snap deal. So you're gonna snap it, pretend to deal it into the pile. And what I like to do, you know, I keep this pile fairly square, and as I do this, I knock a card forward. So it looks like you kind of place a card down, right? Now you don't really want them all to split, so they can see there's only 3. But it's just a little bit. So at speed, it's just kind of like this. And then you place the card back on the deck, okay? So this one time it's actually an ace, and we don't want to get rid of this king just yet, right? So you flip over your last ace, the ace of diamonds, which is a double. Then you're gonna take whatever ace is on top, in this case, ace of hearts. And you say, watch, I'll take the last ace, place it right there, and you're gonna do a snap deal. So that basically you're taking it and you're putting it into sort of a lateral palm. I'm not gonna teach the snap deal right now, but it's kind of like that, and you do it right on the packet. Looks like you're dealing, and then you come back, bring the hands together, and you load that ace back on top of the deck, right? So to take this ace, leave that there, and then you do this. You flip the cards towards you, and you say, look, I've dealt all 4 aces there, but somehow there's still cards in my hands. Just like I said, the 1, 2, 3, and 4 kings have returned. So in this, you're dealing off 1, 2, 3, and then this is a double, and you go 4 kings have returned. And you square up, and you say, of course, they are the 4 kings, and you can show the king on the face here. And because they've seen you dealt the aces, they'll assume it is the king. Now you're gonna do a roundhouse change, or sort of a Herman pass. So you're gonna come over top, you're gonna pull this forward, and execute a Herman pass with the other 4 cards. So you're gonna get a break above the bottom card, or above the top card here, the king, and you're gonna say, watch, you're gonna turn this way, and the packet's gonna come back and around the front, okay? So it's just a Herman pass, guys. Go check out my Herman pass video for this. Where you're doing it face up, and you're doing it quick, so it looks like a color change. Now this is quite difficult with only a couple of cards, because they often kind of do that, and they sort of split. So the roundhouse is very difficult to do with a small packet, because the cards kind of get stuck. So you could do it, like that, right? But I would recommend a different idea in this case. I only used the roundhouse because I had to for the slide off. The nice thing is it does get the king to the bottom, which is where we need it, but I'd probably opt for an Erdnase here. So you say, watch the king. If I take the kings, I can just rub it and change it into the aces. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick up the double and you say, but look, not just one ace, all 4 aces. And you're gonna kind of do like this, showcasing the 4 aces, break apart on the last one and move this ace to the bottom, which is going to move the king to the bottom as well, right? So instead of doing the roundhouse, we start here, we go 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, and of course they are the kings. Now if you watch the first king, if I take it here, I can change it right into an ace. So not just one ace, pick up a double, say 1, 2, 3, all 4 aces. Now you're going to shift this card back into a cop. So you're going to basically riffle off the 1 card and get a break above the king now. And you say, look, all 4 aces. I have the king copped as you throw those onto the table. You say, of course, the cards are on the table. You pick them up like this and load them on top are the 1, 2, 3, 4 kings. So that is the effect. That is what I called a lapping demo at the time. Now I would probably call it something different. But let's go over it really quick. You take the 4 aces, 4 kings, they can be inspected, place them on top of each other, and say, watch, in the action of dealing the aces, I'm going to make the kings totally disappear. And you deal all 4 aces, and you say, look, the kings have totally vanished. Now watch, I'm going to take these 4 aces, I'm going to make the kings reappear. So let's take ace number 1, and you do a double, and I'll leave it right there. Then you say, now I'll take the next ace, the ace of diamonds, and we will leave that right there. And you're going to hit a bottom deal. And you say, and then I'll take the next ace. So again, all these are double deals, right? The ace of clubs, and then you just flip the double over, hit a bottom deal. Then on the final one, you do another double deal. You say, all right, and the final ace, the ace of spades, flip it over. Then you do a snap deal, so you say we'll leave that right there on the table. Now I've dealt the 4 aces, but look, there's still 1, 2, 3, and 4 cards in my hand. And of course, those are the 4 kings that have now reappeared. So for that, you just count off 1, 2, 3, hold the last one as a double, you go 4, you place them on top, and you come down, show the king. And you say, but watch, if I take the king and just give it a little rub, it actually changes into the ace, but not just one ace. We have 1, 2, 3. So here I'm just holding the double. I just picked up the double after I did the Erdnase change. 1, 2, 3. Separate. Move this ace to the bottom. All 4 aces. Now I get a break under the king, shift it back into a cop, and I say, look, really, all 4 aces and the cards on the table are, of course, the 1, 2, 3, 4 kings. And there I just had the king in the cop, picked these up, loaded them on top, and dealt the 4 kings. So that is the effect. That is how I would change the handling pretty much. I think the double deal, you know, if you want the kings to vanish, that's pretty much the way you're going to have to do it without, you know, you could square up the aces and say, watch, I'm going to make the kings disappear. Snap, and the kings disappear, and you could let them go through the aces while you have those copped away. But again, I think that might be a little bit obvious that they might try to look at what's in your hands. So I do like the double deal here. It is very difficult though. Then as you take those aces back on top, you know, you're not in the same position that the double deal leaves you, which is really neat with how it alternates the aces and the kings. So I think the double deal is the best kind of way to do this kind of effect. And then, you know, when you get into the rest of it, I mean, there's definitely an easier way to do all of this because it does, you know, doubles and bottom deals and double deals and stuff, but nonetheless, it is a cool effect. So that is the effect. I hope you guys love it. The one change I would make, at least quickly off the top of my head, would be to do the Erdnase change there. As I don't think the roundhouse change is ideal. You know, also originally I used the paintbrush change when I was getting rid of the first double, but I don't really think that's necessary. I just do a regular double lift or the drop change there. But you know, the double deal is kind of useful for this routine. It's very difficult, but you know, at least the way it's sequenced now, that's the best way to do it. I'm sure there's a different way you could sequence it and make this easier, but you know, that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose is to teach the effects that I created in the slide off, And that is it. That is a lapping demonstration. A nice little 4-card transpo. So I hope you guys love that. You know, let me know if you end up performing this. It is very difficult, not the most practical, might be more something that you do for the camera, but still really cool. It's nice that the hard double deals at the beginning. So you know, if you mess up placing those 4 aces down, you can start over again, and that's a situation I ran into. Anyway, with all that said, guys, I really appreciate you watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.